guess we're live. I'm trying to pull up the chat. I don't know if anybody's there yet or not. Live now, it says. Oh, bro. Pop out the chat. Hey, somebody's here. Let me see if I can get the chat to pop out so I can look at it. Hey guys, how's it going? 60 minutes? What about now? I don't know. All right. Hi, Jackson. Pete, hello. Wayne, how do you say that? Wayne? I'm lagging pretty hard. Oh, bummer. Really? That sucks. Hey guys, how's it going? Really lagging, huh? Crap. What to do about that? I don't know. Can try decreasing some of the stuff that's running. Thailand, how's it going? Just got real choppy, laggy, and low volume. Crud, man. OBS Studio, I am using OBS. That is what I'm using. Sound is low and video is choppy and lagging. Gosh. Okay. What are we going to do about that? What else can we shut down? Is it still pretty bad? Oh, I just shut down my chat. Better? Smooth now. Okay. Tell wife and kids to turn off Netflix. That's right, kids. Okay, it's gotten better. Good. Excellent. I do need fiber, though. You're totally right. The sound is still low. Is it just because I'm talking quietly? 9:02. The delay is probably about a minute delay, maybe 2. Video is fine. Good. Let me see. I can move the mic up a little bit. Maybe I can't really turn the volume up anymore. Computer, turn off office fan. Okay. Maybe that'll help. Without any background noise. I have another mic if this isn't the sound is too bad. It's better now. Not laggy. Great. How's the sound? You hear me fine? So there's Janice Aiden saying sorry for the Netflix lag. Sound seems a little low. Man. Wonder what I can do about that. Sound and video is perfect. And you have everything maxed and sound is low. I do have another mic option that may make things a little bit better, but it makes a lot of noise if I touch the desk with something. So let's see. All right, we'll try switching mics real quick. When you leaned back, it seemed louder. Had to crank it up to 100. You're welcome, Jow. 10 times 2. Just find maybe people will turn up the volume. Maybe it's you've got volume on your Netflix or on your YouTube window, plus you've got volume on your phone or your PC, whatever. Warning, Dad has disconnected from Home Assistant. Retrying in 5 seconds. Wait a minute. What is that? Is that a joke? Or if not, then we can work on fixing that. let me switch this mic real quick, and then you guys can tell me if the mic is better or if we just go back to it was. This is what I like best, because then if I tap on the desk, it doesn't make a ton of sound. If I add this other mic, which actually this has to be on. Okay. All right, now I need to mute. Now you're probably getting 2 mics. Okay, now how's that for sound? Better sound? Worse sound? Do I sound like a radio DJ? This one picks up a lot more desk noise, that's the thing. Okay, all right. Done tinkering. Done tinkering, okay. So, what do you guys want to do? We got, anybody got any questions? You got a problem we can all try and solve? You got, you want to just see what I'm working on? What do you guys want to do? Ben Simpson is right. What did Ben Simpson say? Sound and video perfect. Don't worry about the trolls. Gotcha. I don't think anybody's trying to be mean, but yeah, we'll try and make it good for everybody. Mic 1 seemed better. Okay. I like mic 1 better. All right. Question, new to this. What is the advantage of installing new firmware on the Sonoff as opposed to what it comes with? Excellent question. The best part about that question is I know the answer. So, mic 1. Okay, switch back to mic 1. Okay, mic 1. Better? Good. All right, I'm going to answer that question. So why do Tasmota instead of the firmware that comes on the Sonoff? There are a few good reasons. One is if you want to use the Sonoff with your home automation hub, you can't do that with the default Sonoff firmware. It comes with an app called eWeLink, and it works fine. The app works fine, but in order to control anything, you can use Alexa and Google Home. That's fine. But if you have something like Home Assistant or SmartThings or OpenHab, something like that, you can't use the Sonoff default firmware. And the best thing about the Sonoffs is they're like $5, and they've got the power converter, the relay, the ESP chip. They're for $5. There's not a better deal. You can't buy the components separately and put them together yourself for that low a price. Zoe says, "Give me a shout out." That's my daughter. Hi, Zoe. So anyway, so that's the first reason. The other reason, or another reason, is that another reason to use Tasmota, you have extra pins from the ESP chip that you can use for a lot of different things if you switch the firmware. If you leave the default firmware, all you have is the onboard button and you don't really do anything else. They do have their temperature humidity version, which will give you a little bit of extra uses because you can connect those. But with Tasmota, by switching the firmware to Tasmota, you can do anything you want with those extra pins. And it depends on the model, but 3 or 4 extra pins at least usually that you can get to. And some people have done even controlling LEDs, like changing the color of the LEDs you can do. Obviously any kind of sensor you can do, multiple switches you can do. So there's a lot of stuff you can do that way. And then another thing that people like, that some people switch the firmware for, is because the eWeLink app depends on their servers being activated and working. And so if you're using the eWeLink app and something goes down on the Sonoff side or on the IT server side, you're kind of screwed. So anyways, all right. No shout outs for you. All right, let's see. I'm actually an anesthesiologist. I'm dying to know if you're actually passionate about. Oh, I totally am passionate about this stuff. I do like being an anesthesiologist. This is Joshua Watkins' question. So I am totally passionate about being an anesthesiologist. If you have to have a job, it's a great job to have. And I like doing it. But this is my hobby. This is what I do if it didn't matter what I had to do to get paid, this is what I would do. I would sit around here and tinker with stuff. I'd build garbage in the garage and stuff like that all day, every day. So And Maker Faire, man, when I went to my first Maker Faire a few years ago, it was the coolest. I didn't realize, I guess, how many people out there were the same as me, and you guys, really. You guys are watching this and watching my videos because you feel the same way. Like, tinkering around and making stuff is fantastic. It's fun. I mean, there's just a really cool feeling that goes along with finding some really hard problem and solving it. So I love making. When I went to the first Maker Faire and I saw these people doing all these things, I thought, these are my people. Like, I was lost at birth, or the mothership dropped me off, and I finally found my way home when I got to a Maker Faire. So yeah, very passionate about doing this stuff and nerd stuff. Can you connect, let's see, Eugene says, can you connect 2 devices or sensors to a Sonoff Basic? Yeah, you can. There's, if you go into, should we switch, let's switch views here. I got a different view we can do different stuff with. If you set up, let's see, we'll turn off this one. And we can shrink that down. And then we'll find, let's see, let's open a new window. In the Tasmota firmware, let's see if I'm not going to expose all my emails and such. I'll find the, go to my router, and I'm going to open up one of the Sonoffs, and I'll show you how you can set it up to do more than one button. All right, let's find one that I can tinker with easily enough. Without totally screwing something up. $54, okay. Okay, so this is just Tasmota right on a Sonoff somewhere in the house. I think this might be my front porch. So if you go into configuration and configure module, all these pins here, these other 3 pins, you can do something with those. So we've got, GPIO 14 is the one we use most of the time. It's the easiest, most accessible. These are the RX and TX. So serial out would be the TX pin, and serial in would be the RX pin, the receive pin. GPIO 4, I'd have to hunt a little bit and see where that is exactly on the board. But because of Tasmota, you can set those pins to do anything you want. If you wanted to have 2 different buttons for some reason, you could do that. Like if you wanted to, I don't know, make it so you had to have 2 buttons, or one button do one function and another button do something else. The second button doesn't necessarily have to affect the relay. It could mean, it could send another MQTT message that does something else, like a sensor. So you could have one button that senses, or one button that turns the light on and off, and you could easily hook up like a PIR, a motion sensor, or something like that, or a light sensor to one of these other pins, and then it would take that input and it could do automations like if the lights are, if nobody moves, the lights go off, something like that. So all of those 3 pins, and it depends on which board you select here. This changes. I think the SV, is it the SV that had even more pins that you could get to that weren't being used for something else? So that's cool. Sound is very quiet. You can hardly hear me, Robert. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what to do. Same here, choppy. Yeah. Audio very choppy. Dang. So some says works fine on there in loud and clear. Try dumbing down the resolution on your YouTube stream, maybe. Sorry guys, sorry about audio problems. That's a bummer. Let's see. Let me answer some more questions. Exactly the 2 sensors I wanted to use. Yeah, light and PIR. Thanks. Yeah, I haven't done it, but you can do it. I have great how-tos using Home Assistant. Any chance you do with SmartThings? And you have a lot of Z-Wave switches. Let me show you. I've had a SmartThings hub sitting here by my desk since Thanksgiving, and I haven't plugged it in. I want to plug it in and I want to compare them. Because I figure this is probably a lot more plug and play for folks that don't want to do a lot of the the tinkering that we do inside of Home Assistant. So I just got to plug it in and start testing it out. So yeah, it's something I'll do eventually. It's on the list. It's on the list of things to vote for on the website if you want to see a video about that. If there's, once it gets to the top of the list, that's what I'll do next. Did you hear my question, Bud? I didn't see your question. Let's see. Wow, this is great, guys. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for showing up and. Oh, Bud's question. Looks like Chris Edwards answered it. Thanks, Chris. Turns out in app daemon YAML, you had to change the HA URL to hasio/home assistant rather than my IP at 8123. Could be. I don't know. Sometimes they change things from one update to the next, and it could be that they already changed something. And so already what I put out was maybe a little bit wrong on what you have to put in for your HA URL. Did that fix it? Let me go back down and see. Hello, Sushil. Let's see. Can you use a Sonoff Basic as an alarm to let you know if the doors or windows being opened with a battery backup? Yeah, I'm sure you probably could. But the thing about using the Sonoff is it's got the relay. So if you're going to use the Sonoff, you're going to want some kind of a use for the relay. And if you're not going to use the relay, then you should use something else, because the relay becomes unnecessary. And the power conversion, from 110 to whatever 3 volts or 5 volts, you won't need. So if you're going to do a sensor for doors and such, yeah, something different, something besides that. Probably you could use just like the D1 Mini and do some kind of a battery thing. There are a few guys that have done really good videos about ESP chip battery buttons. So you could do something like that. Oh, my screen just went off. I don't know why. Oh, there it goes. So you could do something like a battery button. There's a way to make the ESP chip take a really low amount of power so you can get the battery to last a long time. Actually, you know what people were using is those Amazon Dash buttons. You can get an Amazon Dash button. I don't know how you flash it, but you must change the firmware, do something to the firmware. And it's a battery button that lasts months and months. And so you could somehow set that up so that it would send an MQTT message to your Home Assistant. And then that would tell you if the door was open or closed. So if you wanted to put a battery-powered sensor around windows or doors, something like that maybe. Node Red. I haven't used Node Red yet. It is on my list. I really want to try Node Red. So yes, it's on my list. It looks cool. It looks very graphic. Like you can really make some cool interconnections with your entities and stuff. But I haven't tried it yet. I want to. It's on the list. Have you messed with OpenHAB? Do I think HAS is better? I have not messed with OpenHAB. It's like many things now. It's on the list of things that I want to do, but I haven't messed with it. I really like Home Assistant. There's just a lot of really good things about Home Assistant, and the support behind Home Assistant is really great. I mean, the guys that work on it are cranking out, they're cranking out updates every couple of weeks. It's just getting more and more useful. So I do need to compare it with OpenHAB and make sure I'm making the best, long-term choice. But Home Assistant is fantastic. So HAS with Node Red. Yep, you can do that, Max. Well, obviously you're doing it. But yeah, I want to do it too. Dash buttons are very slow. Is that right? Maybe they are. I mean, if you're going to want something that you really are depending on to know if your windows are closed and your doors are closed, you want something wired probably. If you have to depend on a backup battery, yeah, you could run into troubles. All right. Do I know if it's possible to make a video how to integrate Google Home with Home Assistant? I know the instructions are in the web, but they're very confusing. Yeah, I know you can turn your Home Assistant into a Google Home by there's an add-on, and once you do that, if you have a mic and a speaker hooked up, your Home Assistant Pi will start to function like a Google Home. And I would assume then you could start doing things like saying turn on the lights or turn off the lights, and it would function. But I haven't done it. So try it. I mean, if you have HAS.io and you just go to the add-ons and you select the Google Home add-on, give it a try. It should be pretty easy to set up. Yeah, you can't match 1,004 usable components in anything else. Yeah, Bob's talking about Home Assistant being compatible with so many different devices. And they are doing such a good job of getting new devices on board, and it's fantastic. You know, you're right. It's pretty universal. You can connect dang near anything to it. Do I ever have problems with the garage door opens firing with the relay when it reconnects to power after a power outage? James, which, yeah, oh, I remember you. I remember your symbol there, the nurse. Yeah, did we talk about that? When I did that first garage door video, we did have a lot of problems with that. Every time, it wasn't power outages though, it was just disconnecting and reconnecting to the network. If it disconnected, then when it reconnected, it would fire the relay. I updated it. I didn't change the video because unfortunately YouTube doesn't let you just go in and change, like, you know, a minute in the middle of a video, which would be really nice if they did, but they don't. You can't even add text to the video itself. All you can do is change the description and then do a whole new video. But I did change the sketch, and I made it so that the relay is normally on, it's normally closed instead of normally open, so that as soon as you power it up, it's closed. It's making contact. Then let's see, what else did I have to change? I had to change a couple things in the sketch, but essentially by doing that, by changing it from normally open to normally closed, it eliminated that problem. So it stopped doing that. Let me see if that's something you want to. Love the content, really appreciate the work. Thanks. Let me pull that up. Let me pull that up for James. We'll pull up the sketch, the way I changed it for the garage doors. Zach, you are welcome. Thank you. I did not expect when I started making videos that there would be this many people that would want to see it. I really thought it was Zoe. Zoe was the one making videos, and so we had all this stuff already, all these you know, cameras and equipment and stuff, and I said, you know, I'm doing all these projects, I might as well film it, put it out there, and see what happens. And here's what's happening. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for my sketch for the garage doors. Okay, let's see if I can share this. Let me get past my passwords and all that stuff. I trust you guys, but this will be on the internet, so I don't want to put the password out there if I don't have to. Okay, so this is what's on the Mac right now. So if I enlarge this, that's bright. Okay, so what I had to change, what we should do is pull up both of them, huh? Let's shrink it down a little bit. Oh, there's my password, just like I was hoping wouldn't happen. All right, let's see. Let's open another one. Probably this one. Okay. Yeah, so if we scroll down here, you can see, let's put this one over here, this one over there. Okay, so on the left is the new sketch, and on the right is the old sketch. And what I had to change is, get to the right sections here. Okay, right here, where it says void setup. Okay, so the first thing I had to change was the digital write, so the relay pin. We want it to start high, so we want it to start with voltage on it. That's why it activates the relay. In the old sketch, we were starting with voltage low or off. So by changing that to high, it changes what activates the relay. And then you change the relay to normally closed. There's another thing we changed. It's just the same change, it's just you have to do it in two places. So down here, where it says digital write, low, so the left-hand side, remember the one on the left is the, oh man, that's not very big. Let me see if I can make that bigger so you can see it. Why am I using sketches for the garage door? This was for an old version. This was the first one I did. This was before I really discovered the beauty of Tasmota and the Sonoff. Let's see, desk cam, make that go away. Okay, there you go. So now on the left-hand side, you can see a little bit better. And what you have to change is what the digital pin or the relay pin starts as. You want it to start high, and then you change down here also to write low, which means you start activated, and then when it changes, it goes low. And I think that's all I had to change. And then you just connect your wires from your garage door to the normally closed instead of the normally open. So, James, that was a long answer. I probably had 50 questions in the meantime, but hope that helps you. That's what I did, and it really helped. It hasn't happened since. But at the same time, using the Sonoff SV as the garage door opener on my garage door, because we have two garage doors. My wife's is using the D1 Mini and the relay with this sketch, and then mine is using the Sonoff SV with Tasmota, and neither one of us have any problems now with them randomly opening or closing. So, all right, let's shut that down because it's really, really bright in my face. And go back to questions. What do we got up there? Is this my video for this week, Jackson? The video for this week is actually going to be the D1 Mini in your car. It's the MQTT car presence, and I've filmed it, and it's just a matter of editing it. So this will be my video for this week. This will go live, or this will go up on YouTube tomorrow, and that'll be what I post, essentially for this week. And then next week, before next week probably, I'll get the other thing out. All right, let's see. A question about the cable between the USB port on your computer and the serial adapter module you recommended. What cable should you use? Can you provide a link to use for the module? Let me show you what I use. It's just a, here it is right here. So this is the module you're talking about, Seville? This is the one you're talking about? So I thought you were asking, because I think you asked on one of the video comments. These are just some jumpers. These are just female jumpers and male jumpers. And then this is a mini USB cable. You can buy these boards that have a mini or a micro USB connector on this end. And then I just have this tiny little, this is just a regular USB, it's USB on one end that plugs in to your computer, type 2 or whatever they call it. And then on this end, mine is a mini, but you can get them with micro as well. So, looking forward to the car video. It sounds awesome. It works really well. I was, you do these things and you expect that they'll, eventually sort of work, and you'll have lots of issues with them, but we haven't had very many issues. The biggest issue with the MQTT car presence is when I restart Home Assistant, it doesn't reestablish the state of the garage doors. That's not MQTT car presence's problem to solve. That's my problem to solve, and it has to do with the being able to tell the garage door Sonoff or the D1 Mini to send its state, whether it's open or closed, to Home Assistant on a schedule. And you can set that up somehow, but I haven't done that. All right. Let's see. Max says, Ben and Songar channels are what I watch and have alerts on them. So thank you for all your videos you watch and rewatch. You are welcome. I also I got started doing this because of Ben. At Bruh. He did his video on the LED lights, and when I was looking for a way to do them, I did that. Another guy that I like to watch because he's funny is BitLooney. If you haven't seen BitLooney, go check him out. And then Songar's really good too. He's got some great stuff. I want to try his. He flashes the Sonoff with Tasmota using ESP tools, and it's like a one-step process. And he's got a nice little video on it. It's really short and looks really easy. I haven't tried it yet, but it looks really easy. Have I ever done any work with IR? I have not. The Home Assistant send an MQTT to the Sonoff or Node MCU with an infrared signal to turn on or off, like an old TV device. I haven't done that, but I've seen that it's possible that you can do it. But I don't know much else about it. I have a need to run about 130 Sonoff duals. Whoa. What would be the best solution for building a good dashboard to monitor and control them? Good grief. 130? That's tough. I don't know. Ideas, guys? Who's listening? Does anybody know what would be a good way to monitor and control them? I mean, that HA dashboard's pretty slick, but this must be an industrial use, right? 130 Sonoff duals. You're not doing that at your house. So I would it work to do Home Assistant? Sure. Would HA dashboard work? Yeah. Is that the best solution? I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot of Sonoff duals. I know what I know, and what I know is Home Assistant and HA dashboard. So sometimes that's all I can recommend. Harmony Hub, which works amazing with Home Assistant. Okay. All right, let's see what else. I have flashed. Let's see. James says, flash the Sonoff Basic. Have both failed after. Oh yeah, I saw your comment today. Yeah, what? I don't know, James. This is James Theory. Has anybody had that experience where you flash a Sonoff, it works for a few days, and then it dies? Like, what do you mean dies, James? It just doesn't connect to your network anymore, or the relay doesn't work, or I have had 2 of the 20 something that I've done that for some reason the GPIO 14 button stops working, and that's new. That it didn't happen after 3 days. It just happened to one of them in the last month or so, and then I've got another one now. I think that's the problem. It's not turning on when I push the button. Is that what you mean? Okay, and then Will Ross is answering the question about IR. Thank you. Use Broadlink Black Bean, $18, easier than building one. All right. Building one, who did I see do that? Did Ben do that on one of his videos? Where he took I think he did, right? He had some plugs. He had some receptacles, and they had an IR remote, and he hacked it and connected it to Home Assistant so that somehow Home Assistant would activate the IR remote, and that would activate the plugs or something like that. Let's see, Wayne. He has a bunch of PIR sensors that turn on or off at 10-second intervals. Oh, geez. I wish I knew. That I don't know. I mean, how are you running them? Are you running them with, some sort of Arduino, or what are they doing for you? I guess it sounds like a software problem. If you've got a bunch of them that are doing the same thing, that'd be my guess. Zach, Sonoff in the office that changes states when I flip the lights on in the bedroom. Oh, check your topics. It's one of 2 things probably. It's probably a topic problem. So what you've got then is, so the lights in the office, do they turn on, or just the icon turns on and says the state is now on, or are they actually on? Either way, what you've got is some crosstalk in your MQTT topics. So you've got when you flip on the one in the bathroom, something about the state or something about the topic there, the lights in the office are receiving that message, and so go into your Home Assistant and look for in your switches, your MQTT topics, and you must have some kind of a name crossover there where you've got the same name on your office lights as you do in the bathroom for either the state or the command topic. That'd be my first guess. Zoe says, what ideas for the video in the future? How about we just have a video where Zoe gets on and sings and dances? How about that? Matt says, same problem, thinking of resetting and flashing. Have you tried that? What happened to yours, Matt? Yours were dying too after a few days? I didn't know about this. I talked to Matt every day. I didn't know he had Sonoffs dying. So Orlo, looks like Orlo got some help from you guys. Thanks. That's awesome. Great community. Managed to decode the message from the Sony remote. Oh, he's talking about the IR. Awesome. ESP8266 mesh networking solution anytime soon. I don't know. I don't know about that. You know what I'm thinking about? I'll tell you. Let's see. Have I messed with trying to get Tasmota on the Node MCU or the D1 Mini? No, but I want to really bad. In fact, we could try that tonight because I've got a D1 Mini just sitting here waiting, And I really want to see what it can do because there's a lot of extra pins, and I'm excited to see what would happen on Tasmota and what we can do with all those extra pins. I bet you you can do a lot of stuff. I'm not a big Arduino sketch writer. I can sort them out a little bit and kind of figure out what's going on sometimes and make some modifications if somebody else has already set it up. So another reason for me really enjoying Tasmota is because I'm not a pro at writing Arduino sketches, and it makes it really simple to just change things, you know, on the console and whatever. All right. Any way to create automatic backups of the configuration.yaml to an off-box server? Rebuilding Home Assistant as we speak because of a catastrophic crash. Oh, that sucks. Only manually. You may have already done this, but check the Home Assistant forums and such. I know with Hass.io, you can do these snapshots. Chris was telling me about his. Chris Edwards, who's on the chat, he was telling me about his, how he was doing it. But I think you could maybe put it on Dropbox or something like that. If not, otherwise you just have to do it manually. I just do mine manually. Every once in a while, I'll just copy it. Just copy the file, you know, the folder to a different drive. That's not the best way, right? We want it to be automated. That's the whole point. So I don't know exactly how to do it, but check the forums. Maybe Chris can tell you how he did his. All right, Zach didn't provide enough detail. It has a Sonoff that changes states, both in the state it reports and the relay flips. I'm gonna flip the switch for non-smart lights in the next room. Oh, non-smart lights. Okay, I think I know what that is too. Yes, voltage changing in the line where the Sonoff is plugged in. So yes, I have seen that before. Check out the video on ghost switching. I was having a lot of troubles with that, and I still do because I haven't switched it out on all of the switches. But what happens is it's really easy for the wires between the GPIO pin and the switch, even if it's just a few inches of really small wire, but it's really easy for those wires to pick up enough electromagnetic interference to trick the ESP chip into thinking that you pushed the button. And something like a change in a switch in another light that's probably on the same circuit is going to create enough of a change, just a little bit of a voltage wobble to flip that switch. So easy to fix though, thank goodness. Watch the ghost switching video, but it's easy to fix. A little capacitor and a resistor in between some of the pins, and it will take away the ability of any of that noise to affect that switching process. So try that. Check out the ghost switching video and try that, and I bet you that'll solve your problem. All right, what else? D1 water flow sensor for water running for 2 minutes while I'm not home. I get a message. Oh, that's cool, Bobby. That's cool. I need to update it. We've had floods a couple times in our basement, and once with sewage, which is pretty bad. And so now I have these battery operated flood sensors down there, but it's been a long time since we updated them, so I don't know how well they're working. Those are something I really need to get into Home Assistant with some sort of a moisture sensor down there. Of course, I already have a video on it. Check it out. Yeah. Jeff, have I messed with the B1? I have a B1, and I have it, and I want to take it apart and put Tasmota on it, but I haven't yet. Trying to do an update OTA using DNS spoofing. I don't know. You can open it up and get to the pins. You could do it manually with the FTDI adapter. You can get into the B1. There, if you go to the Tasmota website, the GitHub page, and look in the wiki under the B1, there's some instructions. I started doing it, but I didn't have enough time that day, and then I haven't gone back to it. But you can do it, and all the pins that you need, the serial pins are there, so you can flash it, and then it'll run on Home Assistant, which should be pretty cool because it's a good light. It dims and changes colors and all that stuff, and it's about the cheapest. I think there's another brand like Magic Hue or something that's also pretty cheap, in the $15 range for those light bulbs, but I only have that one, and I only bought it just to mess with it. All right. Dale's asking a question about Amazon AliExpress. I missed the earlier part of that question, Dale. Sorry. You guys are probably chatting amongst yourselves, which is fantastic. Okay, thanks for all the fish. I have Node-RED do Sonoff Tasmota restart command. All the Sonoffs around 3 a.m. every night. Haven't had issue with them dying since. Oh, interesting. Okay, so Node-RED has Tasmota restart in every Sonoff every night, and then they haven't died. Huh. I wonder what the mechanism is for them dying that they get fixed with a restart, but that's cool. That's a great solution. Thanks. And thanks for all the fish with the solution. Bringing it home. All right. Yeah, getting the bulb off is worrisome. It should go back on. I'll do a video on it. How about that? As best I can tell you. I can try. I've got one. That was the point. As I bought it to take apart, and I agree. No one shows the reassembly. All right, then. I'm on it. I am on the case of taking apart the B1 and reassembling it. I could go get it. It's in the garage. I can take it apart right now. Let's see. Do I have my HAS automation on GitHub? Not everything. I don't have everything on GitHub. I change it a lot. I don't know. You know, it's. I could do that if that's something that you guys would like. I don't know that all of my automations are super useful to you, but if you guys would like to look at them, I can put them on GitHub, and I'll try and keep it up to date every once in a while. If you go to the Home Assistant page, the Home Assistant, I don't even know where it is. There's a bunch of example configuration.yaml files that people have posted. People that probably have a lot more complicated setup than I do. My stuff's pretty simple, so check that out. That might give you some good examples, but I'm happy to. I'm happy to do, you know, just some automations and just kind of walk through how you do some different automations if you guys want to see that. Can Sonoff be a dimmable switch? No, Gary, unfortunately, unless somebody knows differently than I do. The Sonoff Basic by itself can't do dimming. I don't know exactly what has to happen for an LED, you know, digital dimmer kind of a setup like that, but the mechanism is not there for the Sonoff Basic. You have to have something else. Chris says, won't let him post messages in the live stream, but if you look at the Home Assistant forums for automate snapshots and Dropbox upload, that's what he used to automate his backups. So did you catch that? I forgot the name, forgot who was saying that they were looking for a solution for automated backups, but there you go. Home Assistant forums, automate snapshots, and Dropbox upload. So there you go. See, yeah, it sounded familiar. Chris is on it. Should work. Okay, let's see. The link is too long to post here. Arduino garden soil sensor. They're $5, $10. Great. Yeah, if you guys want to, if you have things you want to post like that, you know, links to products or something, you can post it on the. You can go to my channel's sort of main page and post it there. And there's a main comments page you can post. There's the website too. You can post there. Send you an email. Would you help for people asking about the garage? Let me check it out, Aldo. Let me check it out. I think I answer so many emails. I kind of remember looking at it. Let me search for Aldo here. You guys want me to take apart that B1 right now? Should we do that? Let's see, Aldo, did you send it? You sent me an email directly? Done a lot of cool things with my setup. Oh, you got cut off partway, Zach. Aldo, I'm not finding your email. I don't know. Sorry, man. Maybe if it comes up in a minute, maybe you just sent it. Looking for good light switch to work with home automation since the Sonoff T1 doesn't fit the US boxes. Any suggestion? Man, do I got the suggestion for you. The Zonoff. you know, if you want something that's going to be UL approved, you know, you just go to Amazon, I guess, and find, I don't remember what was the one that I took apart. There are some, you know, but there really isn't B1 disassembly for the win, Jeff. All right, I'm going to go get it in a minute. Or maybe I can have somebody get it. Hey, Jackson, are you still on? Would you go out to the garage? There's a light bulb screwed into one of those little plastic sockets by where we're putting that together, that Maker Faire assembly. We'll see if that'll work. Jackson, go get it for me. Otherwise, I'll take it 2 minutes and take it apart. Oh, I was in the middle of answering a question. That's embarrassing. Oh, you're asking, oh, the Sonoff. Yes, because somebody was asking about a good light switch. So the Sonoff, which I feel very egocentric about naming it that, but it's fun. It's a Sonoff Basic, $5 relay, power converter, Wi-Fi chip combo. You take that, adds this firmware that you're looking at up on the screen over here, which is called Tasmota, and you add a button and a fuse. And if you just add the fuse, and if you want, you solder in the main leads to your light wires, and you're golden. I mean, it is a really good, I love it. It works so good. And that touch light switch, which Andy, if he's around, I wonder if Andy's around. Let's see. Live stream, child, go get my bulb request. Love it. Let's see. Before I started hacking Sonoffs, I used the TP-Link switches, which I have a bunch. Great. Is that the one?
I'm not Jackson anyway.
Yes, this is exactly it.
Oh
Dawson, come here. Come say hi. You guys recognize Dawson. Dawson has done Dawson did the outro a few times. He was really excited about doing the adios part a few times. Okay, here we go. The B1. What do you think? Let's take it apart. It's probably going to break, right? Suggestions? Oh, look at that. Oh boy, that's going to be embarrassing. It just, oh, that part screwed off. And then what do we got under there? Do we have screw holes there? Nope. So down in there, this looks like there's the power converter part down in there. This part's got to be able to come off though without too much breakage. I bet this glass is pretty, I don't know, maybe it's not super thick. What else can we disassemble here without destroying it? I know that the LEDs and the pins, the serial pins to flash it, are inside here. Hi Dawson, thanks. Nope, wrong. Yeah, that's not how you get into it, huh? Oh, I hear it creaking. This is going to sound bad, but you know, this reminds me of a little bit. I'll mix in some medical stuff with you if I don't gross out everybody too badly, but dissecting cadavers in medical school. So a lot of the same principles apply to taking apart electronics and such, because you want to do blunt dissection. We call it blunt dissection in medicine. And it means you don't jab a knife in there. You kind of use your fingers and you sort of separate the tissue planes and stuff. It's creaking, so I'm getting it. See, worrisome. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. This thing's about to shatter in my hand, I think. ESP Easy. Yep, Bobby, I want to try ESP Easy. I haven't seen it. I mean, I shouldn't say I haven't seen it. I did try it initially. That was like one of the first, before I got Tasmota to work, I did try ESP Easy once. But I haven't gone back to it because I've just been so in love with Tasmota. Looks like a nail, get a hammer. What are you doing? It looks like a light bulb. Haven't found the sensor. It'll work. Gosh, man. Well, what if we did break this one just to see how it comes apart? What do you think? Let me try and get something to pry under there. Time to get the tools. I'm going to be at the hammer in a minute, Chris. Screw it back together to use the leverage. Okay, good call, good call. You know what I think? Just feeling this, you know what I think might be the thing to do too is to heat it. Maybe it's glue. Maybe put it back and remove the glass. Yeah. It's so tight. It's so close. Woo! Did you hear that? It's coming. Here we go. This is my 3D printer scraping knife. This is how I scrape my prints off. But it's coming up, guys. There it goes. Pop! Ooh. Got it. Yay! Victory! We did it. This might be plastic. I think this is plastic. It's totally plastic. This thing's plastic. So there you go. Have at it, Jeff. You can't break that. All right, and now looking at this thing. Oh, they even labeled the pins. Bless them. Look at that. See if I can get that to not be too overexposed. But right there at the top, you've got 3 volt, RX, TX, and ground. Beautiful. So we could flash that sucker. I don't know how to get it into programming mode, I guess, but those instructions are on the Tasmota website, I think. So.
I assume you don't need this.
No, I don't. Thank you. Zach, come here, Zach. Now you get to be on the screen for a minute. Come on.
Okay.
You get to say hi to the family here. So Zach brought me a hammer. This is Zach.
Hi.
Thanks, bud.
That's too bad.
I don't want to. I won't tell him that I already have a hammer in the closet right there. He didn't have to do that. He seems like he's winded running up the stairs. Halfway, disassembly complete. Robocopy for backup YAMLs. Oh, that's a good idea. Robocopy. Is there an antenna hack for the Sonoff? What do you mean by antenna hack, Andrew? Do you mean to be able to add a new antenna to it, like extend range kind of a thing? How do you organize your folder for your different Sonoffs? One per folder, template, or anything like that? Do you copy and paste all of your components? Oh, Wayne, I'm missing the beginning of what you were asking there. I'm sorry. Jeffrey Hammer. Oh, Jeffrey Hammer. The hammer is already here. Nice. I totally missed that. I totally missed that. All right. I wonder how you've got it. I know to flash this, what we'll have to do is put GPIO 0 to ground and power it up. So now the question is, where is GPIO 0? What light is this? This is the Sonoff B1 light. So I'm not going to do it because it's a really fancy webcam that likes to try and adjust the brightness and stuff. But anyways, this is the Sonoff B1. It's not terribly cheap, but it's cheaper than most. It's instead of being $30, it's like $15. But it works well. I had it working. The pins, I'm noticing, I'm looking at the pins here, and they're not holes. They're just solder points, so they're already kind of filled in. Gotta go. See you, Max. Thanks for coming by. Oh, what happened? Peace. See ya. I'm probably gonna go in a few minutes too. I told the kids I'd be done at about 8 o'clock. We tore this thing down. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to do something for the last few minutes? Do you want me to try and flash this? Hey, Andy's here. Yes. All right. Andy is. Look at this, man. So, Andy was the one. You can all thank Andy for for me, anyways, discovering these. Probably a lot of other people knew about them, but these are those beautiful little touch buttons. And what I found out now. Look at this thing. This is 20. It's 20 of those capacitive touch buttons, and they have a little red LED on the back side. And I think it was like, what was it, Chris? $1, $2 or something like that? I don't know. This thing was super cheap. So I'm thrilled. I mean, everything in my house is going to have touch buttons now. I got 40 touch buttons here. Plus, I bought 20 more of these. So anyways, how's it going, Andy? Thank you. All right. go-to smart plug everyone uses? If you want to replace a receptacle, just put a smart plug in line. What do you guys think? James has a question. What's the go-to smart plug if you wanted to just put something in line with a regular receptacle? I know Sonoffs, so that's what I do. The nice thing about using something like a Sonoff, even for a receptacle, you wouldn't need the button function. So it could just go. Well, I guess you could still turn things on and off remotely, but through Home Assistant or something. But you wouldn't need the buttons locally, like on the switch. Quit spending my money. Got a link to those? Oh yes. In fact, let's find them. Where did I get those from? I think I got them from AliExpress. Come on. I've got some things in my cart right now because I'll tell you guys what I'm working on in a second. I'm kind of excited about it. Okay, here they are right here. This is them. Full screen. Let's turn this desk camera off. So let's see how they don't have real easy to share links. AliExpress doesn't, but it won't let you post the links. Oh, okay. Well, watch for the description. I think I can. Oh, maybe I can do it. Maybe I have magic powers, Chris. I probably do. I probably have special bonus powers for doing stuff like this. Let me see. Move monitors for a minute. I think it'll let me do something with this live feed right now. No, okay, it's not letting me add directly to the video, but I can go to the channel. So just go to my channel and under discussion, and I'll post it there. Okay. So there's the link to those super cheap. Okay, so $3 for 20. It wasn't quite as cheap as I thought, but I remembered it being quite cheap. So there you go. Enjoy. They're super cool. I was really surprised when I finally turned one on and it had an LED. I thought the whole point of them being so cheap was because they didn't have a light, and they do. Yeah, I agree, Chris. I've ordered plenty of stuff from AliExpress. I'll put an affiliated link on the website too. I have to go through a couple other steps to get an affiliated link, but that'll do it. Sushil got a question. What's your question, Sushil? Could I use a Sonoff S10 for a 1.5 horsepower water pump? Ooh. Well, what's the watt requirement on the water pump? Do you know? Because that would be probably the kicker. Is how many amps is it going to take? Sonoff Basic. Well, either way, Sonoff Basic has a 10 amp relay. So I don't know what your 1.5 horsepower water pump is going to draw, but if it's less than 10 amps, then yes. The answer is yes, you can do it. And if you wanted something more than 10 amps, I don't know if IT makes a more robust Sonoff that has a bigger relay. If not, you can always piece stuff together. That brings me to what I was going to tell you. So I made a cool discovery when I was putting my Home Assistant dashboard display. So I got a 10-inch Amazon Fire tablet, and we had this old crummy intercom system in the house, and we've already taken out a lot of the intercom boxes from before and put just Amazon Echo Dots. So we have 6 or 7 Echo Dots around the house, and we use that as intercoms, and kids play music on them and all that. And of course you can turn them on and off, or turn things on and off by telling Alexa what to do with the lights and Home Assistant and all that. But the main hub for that intercom system was right where I wanted to put the Home Assistant dashboard in the kitchen. So when I took the Home Assistant when I took the intercom main hub out, I had all these Cat5 wires in the wall. And a light bulb kind of went on at that point that every room that had one of those intercoms in it has a Cat5 cable going to a location right next to the light switches. We've got, I thought maybe I should count all the light switches in our house, but it's a bit intimidating. We probably have 50 light switches at least in the house. And so it's probably not a good idea to have them all be Wi-Fi. And if you guys like the stuff that I do, then hopefully you've already seen Jonathan on Superhouse TV. If not, go check him out. He's a genius. And when he did his house, he did a super custom wired light switch setup where he ran, a pair of wires like that, Cat5 style wires, to some little push buttons in his walls next to his doors or whatever. And then he had a bunch of relays and a central hub, and his lights were a little different because then he had to run all of his 110 wires through his hub to the lights. But for me, what I'm going to do, I've got these Cat5 wires that are running from this hub station near the kitchen to several of the rooms that have 3 or 4 light switches. They've got, usually it's a fan switch. Sometimes it's 2 switches, one for a fan light and one for the fan itself, plus one for lights in the room. And sometimes there's 2 for lights in the room or for like a receptacle that's on a light, for a lamp. So what I'm going to do is rig up a touch module. So it's the same that Andy's touch module. Then a relay, and then connect that with a wired connection to some kind of Arduino hub. And I haven't decided which yet, but some kind of an Arduino hub in the location where the intercom hub used to be, and then have one Ethernet connection to that Arduino hub so that the internet connection won't be bogged down. So you won't have an ESP chip at every light switch. Every light switch will have a button and a relay, and that button and relay will also have a communication to our network through that, and it'll get instructions through the Arduino as far as, turn this on, send this MQTT message that says it's on and off and all those things. So I'm excited about that. It's going to take me a while to do, and it probably won't be something to be really translatable to a lot of other people's houses, but I'm excited about it. Anyways, all right, what do we got? Jeff, have any issues getting the history and graphs to show in Safari? I don't use Safari. Oh, you mean on your phone? I still use Chrome on my iPhone even. So try Chrome. Try Chrome on your iPhone. But I can't say that I really go look at the history of the graphs for temperature though either. So it might not work in Chrome either. I don't know. About 1,000 watts, and so it's 1,000 watts, and it's is it a 110 volt pump? 120 volt pump? Then you're probably okay, right? This is doing math in public, which is always hard to do, harder than normal. But that, I think you divide that out, and you'll be less than 10 amps. 40 buttons. Oh, so somebody says 1.5. So Pete says 1.5 is 13.5 amps at 120 volts. So you're going to have a 15 amp relay. So no, a Sonoff Basic won't do it. Thank you, Pete. Oh, then 6 amps. Oh, if it's 240, it's 6 amps. Great. Okay, there you go. Well, then yes. The answer changes that fast. You guys have already been answering each other's questions, and I'm just catching up. Regards to the ghost switching, I don't have any extra buttons wired up to mine like you've done for your light switch, but I still have ghost switching. I think the capacitor and the resistor will help. So how do you have it switched? I would still try it, because what's happening is this. It seems like you're getting electric interference from your other room and the load and whatever's going through those wires. So I would try it still, but yeah, generally the idea was that the wires going to your button were picking up the interference, and that's where you're putting your low pass filter for the ghost switching. So I don't know, Zach. I guess try it and let me know. Sorry, it's the best idea I have. Would like to see, John says he'd like to see an up-to-date how-to video for dummies on setting up Home Assistant with a Raspberry Pi. Oh, I went through it kind of fast. It hasn't changed much since Ben's video. If you go to Bruh Automation and you look at Hass.io, his Hass.io video from like July. I just did one, but I went through the how to set it up. It's really fast. I mean, here's the rundown, John. You take, you need your Pi. You go to the Home Assistant website. You download the Hass.io image. You use something like Etcher, whatever you want, and you just burn that image from Hass.io onto the SD card, and then plug the SD card into the Pi and turn it on. I mean, it really is that simple. Check out Ben's video if you haven't seen it. And if you have seen it, then check out mine. And if that doesn't help you, then let me know and I'll be happy to walk you through it. It's really fast. Oh, good, Will. Will says to Zach that, yeah, that should work. Needs the resistor. It didn't have any capacitors. There you go. There you go. Hopefully that'll work. Home automation without a local switch to switch the light is looking for serious spousal issues. Yes, Bob, you are right. We must all consider strongly the wife approval factor of all of our home automation projects. Because if she's not happy, it doesn't happen. So, good advice, Bob. Thank you. All right, guys. I wanted to keep this to about an hour. I'm having a great time, and I kind of hate to cut it off. Oh, thanks for all the fish says, do anesthesiologists need to do a lot of math in their heads? I do math in my head, but I do it without anybody watching. So one of my attendings, and the attendings are the people who, when you're in residency, when you're in your medical training, they're the doctors who are already graduated and already have all this smarts that are imparting their smarts onto you. We call those attendings. And I had an attending that would constantly make us do math in public, is what he called it. And it's harder. It's weird how when you've got 4 or 5 people or 10 or 20 people watching, how much harder it is to do simple math in your head when you're kind of on the spot. So, but I also have access to a calculator when I need to. But most of the stuff I know pretty well for the anesthesia part of things. OTA Sonata 1.6 update coming soon, David. I do not think so. I don't know what exactly they changed. It's some sort of a certificate verification on their end, so it has to connect to their servers before it can do the over-the-air update. So we can't trick it anymore into saying, oh, we're going to do an over-the-air update, and then we slide in Tasmota instead of its native firmware. And I don't know that that's going to go away. But really, the hardwired method with this guy here is really not very hard. It's very reliable. It's very fast. When I first saw Ben at Bruh Automation with his version of this, and he had one of these things, I was like, okay, that's it. I turned the video off because I'm looking at this and thinking, you got circuits hanging out there and wires, and he wants me to solder something, and forget it. Give me some easier solution. Now look at me. So you can do it. And just a little bit of learning, a little bit of trying it out, and you can do it. It's not too hard. I definitely recommend it, and it's reliable, and it's gonna last for a long time. All right, Jeff, Zach, Chris, everybody, thanks a bunch. Zoe, here's Zoe. Everybody had to get on camera before. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna do a video on. Call me after the video about Superhouse switch ideas. Oh, sweet. Will do. For sure, Andy. Thanks. I'll do an edited, awesome, normal video about the MQTT card presence, hopefully this week. And then I like doing these live streams. So as often as we can, if we can do it once a week, something like that, that'd be great. It's fun. I hope it was helpful to you guys. And thanks so much for watching. Thanks for supporting, and yeah, I think that's it. Are we ready? Mm-hmm. Adios. Okay. Bye, guys. Thanks. Adios. Adios.